It is so interesting that you say the movie is hard to find now because there was a period of time every time you went into Walmart, the only thing in the $5 Walmart bin was glitter DVDs. I have owned
PenPop. Hello, my name is Ary.
My name is Dante. Today, we're diving even further to our discussion about glitter with another lamb when we're talking about Glitter, the movie, with very special guest, Alona Turner.
Yes, we found the movie on YouTube. We have popcorn on our hands. Now it's time for us to give you the scene-by-scene commentary about what our thoughts are on it, what Alona thought about it, and what Dante thought about it. Because you know he definitely had a lot of thoughts. That head ain't no big for no reason.
Baby!
baby.
I did. Let's go.
Can you back up a little bit? Ooh.
In a world where proving yourself is everything.
Hey, Billy, can you repeat that verse?
They don't matter. They're just backup.
One woman is about to get the chance.
When the microphone comes, do something special.
Music brought them together.
We're on our way, baby.
Fame could tear them apart.
Me and us will go together. Don't forget that.
But love
He's here!
will never let it end.
To us.
Mariah Carey. Glitter.
Released on September 21st, 2001, and directed by Vondie Curtis Hall, Glitter was supposed to be a monumental film, but instead it became quite the cult classic with lots of lore surrounding it.
Starring Mariah Carey and set in the early 1980s New York City, Billy Frank is an aspiring singer with a rough childhood who falls in love with a nightclub DJ played by Max Beasley and is offered a contract to sing backup and eventually develop a solo career while overcoming the trauma of her childhood and the threat of Terrence Howard, her former manager, Lucius.
And now, let's get into Billy Frank's career with our guest.
I'm in my pan.
Alright, so today on PenPop, our guest is a dedicated member of the Lamely in entertainment law and spreading the word of MC with the viral content on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok.
She is one of my favorite mutuals on Twitter, has excellent music taste, and deserves a veteran's discount for being on the front lines during the Glitter era as a lamb. We are all indebted to you. Please welcome Alona Turner. Welcome to PenPop, and thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much for inviting me. I'm so excited. This is going to be so fun. So thank you for having me.
Yes. How are you doing today?
I'm doing well. No complaints. You know, what can I say? Too pleasant.
I see you got the lover boy shirt on.
I had to do it for my girl. It took me forever to find this doggone shirt, but I had to do it for her.
Oh my gosh. I feel so bad. I have nothing on Glitter. I hope we get a vinyl reissue or something, because those eBay prices.
Insufficient fun!
I bought mine on Discogs from Japan for $50. I was like,
Okay, I need to look into that.
Oh,
Discogs, yes. And they would mail it to you from Japan. It took like a week.
really?
Come on, Japan Lamely.
Come on, Japan lambs.
Truly.
Japanese lamb for the win.
Okay, so we want to know, how did you first get into Mariah?
My boss just walked by like, hey, like most people, I don't know many lambs that have like a positive Mariah story. They're like, oh my God, I just like the music. But my father passed when I was 7, and One Sweet Day was the biggest song in the country. And I
Yes.
used to sit by the radio because it's before streaming, because I'm old. I'll just wait for the song to come on, and I cry. And one day my mother just walked up to me and handed me the Daydream CD when I was 7. It was the first CD I ever
Aw.
owned. She was like, girl, here.
She's like, enough of the radio.
Enough
Take
of
that
the-
shit with headphones.
With headphones. And I, of course, navigated the little CD player, found my track, and I just listened to it on repeat. And that's how I got into Mariah. And I've been a lamb for the last 30 minutes. Like it's been fun.
Exactly. Such a short time.
It's a short time.
Truly.
What's time? I don't even know her.
And so the reason we have you here today is because I found out through the Twitter that you were in the movie theaters on the day Glitter was released.
I was.
But before we get into that, we want to know, like, how did you first hear about Glitter? Were you excited? What was, like, everybody saying when she was talking about doing a movie and going to Virgin Records?
Okay. From what I remember, I was 12 when Glitter came out, which is so funny to me because one of the reviews, the negative reviews I saw about Glitter at the time, they said, this movie is for 12-year-old girls. And I said, well, yes, this movie is referential, girl.
Here I
Yes.
am.
Well, yes.
I was like, obviously, what do you mean? So I was watching a lot of MTV during that time because MTV summertime, I didn't have anything to do. I was at my grandmother's house. My grandmother had cable, so I just spent all day watching MTV, TRL, MTV News, and Mariah. They would talk about it all the time. The Loverboy video was on 24/7 that summer.
As it should.
And as I was like, okay, all right. Oh, I was like, oh my God, new Mariah. I was still actively listening to the Rainbow CD at that point. But I just remember like seeing her everywhere they would talk about it. And I actually even saw the infamous TRL incident live as it happened.
Wow.
And I was like, what is going on? And then it was, well, we could probably talk about that later. But
We'll talk about it later. I'm dying to know about that.
But yeah, so I just saw it everywhere because I watched a lot of MTV at the time. This is also like right when the internet first started.
Right.
And I would get on the internet and I would go on MariahCarey.com, which was all HTML at the time, looking like a straight Wix website. And they would like make little announcements about it. But I was aware that the movie was coming because they talked about it all the time.
Oh God, I wish I could like see the website.
Yeah.
It's in the Wayback Machine.
Okay, I'm gonna go check that out.
Yeah, it's cute. It was cute.
Okay, it's time to get your popcorn out.
That's right. Let's get into our first thoughts on Glitter the movie. So, Alana, what did you think about Glitter the movie?
It is to this day my comfort movie. I saw it in theaters. I was again 12, and I took my 5-year-old cousin with me.
I love
because
it.
I was babysitting. It was like it was right after the events of 9/11. I still wasn't going to school. I refused to go to school because I was so scared. So then my mother just took me to the movies. And I saw Glitter in theaters. And I loved it. I was like, Mariah Carey, big screen, not being at school. Great.
Perfect.
Most fantastic thing ever. My life is amazing right now. And I saw it in theaters actually 3 times before I went back to school.
I love
and then
it.
my mother was like, all right, I've indulged you enough. You gotta go. And I was like, all right, fine. So yeah, I loved it. I thought it was great. I thought the music was great. I thought the visuals are great. The brat is my favorite part of the movie. I think the brat is so funny in the movie. But yeah, I loved it. But I was already a lamb by the time the movie came out. So
of course,
I was gonna love it regardless.
Right. Yes.
And how was like the theater? Was the theater full at the time, or was there like? Yeah.
But was that because you were going during the day or because
I was going during the day, and this is also like the week after 9/11. So people were still pretty it was very much like COVID lockdown in the sense that nobody was outside. Everyone was still on the end, like everyone was still very much like contained. There was still a lot of like fear. And my mother barely wanted to take me just in case something happened at the movie theater. But I was like, we live in Detroit. I don't think anything crazy is gonna happen here. But it was just the streets were like empty. So the movie theater was empty. It was like me and my 5-year-old cousin and maybe like 2 other people further in the back. So it was pretty safe.
But hey, you had the whole theater to yourself. I'm sure you had a good old
it
ball.
was great. It was fun. And by the 3rd time I knew the songs. So it was even more fun for me. It was like it felt like the Eras Tour movie.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely.
Oh, that would have been so. I mean, not for the time.
But
fun, like to experience that. Like, I wish, like while you're telling the story, like I wish I got to, experience that. Oh, that's so cool.
We need like the Christmas tour, like in the movie theaters. Can we get that? I just thought of that right now. Like, wouldn't that be so much fun?
That would be so much fun. But I would hate for it to wait a year to come up because we could only watch it during Christmas. Unless we get all the Christmas tours combined into one movie.
Ooh.
Wow.
Like Tokyo Dome and like another Glitter.
House of Mimi, get on it.
Get on it.
Yeah, my first thoughts about Glitter, like I never saw the movie because like honestly it's hard to find. Now it's on YouTube. Thank God that person is doing God's work, but now they added ads, so I'm kind of side-eyeing them a bit. But I get it. I mean, but anyways, my introduction to Glitter was the lore of it all, like the shady compilations on YouTube where it's like Mariah, like diva moments, Mariah shady moments where she's talking about like, no, Cindy, whatever. Like that was my introduction to Glitter. Like I had no idea all of this was happening. And then when I went to go search it up, I saw like how the dates were lining up with like 9/11 and all the other stuff, unfortunately. And now that I read the memoir, I have obviously more context. But honestly, like it's been so much more fun just talking to people about it because I love to hear fan stories, what was the critical consensus, and kind of deciphering like what was the true tea, like because you were there
Mm-hmm.
in the moment, like because on the internet, Wikipedia, they edit everything. Like I don't know what's true, I don't know what's not, I don't know if people are embellishing things, but yeah, I loved it. I thought it was camp. I thought it was fun. Everybody where I read it on stuff of like the critical consensus was very negative. So I was going like, okay, let's see. But then when I watched it, I'm like, I love it. I mean, I really like it. Like I had fun. It was camp. It was fun. It did what it needed to do. And then eventually I watched Wise Girls, and I loved Wise Girls too. I guess Glitter overshadowed Wise Girls, but like I got to do another episode on that because it's so good.
Everything. If Mariah Carey was in a movie, I've seen it.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
Even the opera one, like she was an opera singer.
Yes.
I've seen all of them. Like just, it's that bad.
No, is that good? Okay.
Exactly. Oh, you guys were saying, like, as I said, like, I don't consider myself like a full lamb yet. Wait a minute. Walk with me, y'all. Because I don't give myself the title. I'm going.
I'm bringing it to the dark side.
But I am a lamb. Like, I want to be 100%. You know what I mean? Like, I just haven't gone through everything yet to be official. I haven't been sanctified yet. But like watching the movie, like I hear that a lot, like, she's bad acting or whatever. I'm like, what are y'all talking about?
Yeah.
Like, I was here for everything except the hat that she's wearing. What's the name? Vitalicia.
We'll get into that.
We'll get into that in a minute. But I'm here for it. Like her acting, the notes were there, the everything, like the storyline. I felt like I was watching Mariah's story but we'll get into that as the movie goes. But whatever, I love it. Obsessed. I wish I could go back in time and I was born then and live it because I want to experience that. Like what you telling it, I'm like, yes, that's what I want to experience.
It is so interesting that you say the movie is hard to find now because there was a period of time every time you went into Walmart, the only thing in the $5 Walmart bin was glitter DVDs. I have owned at no less than 10 copies of this movie on DVD.
Really?
No less than 10.
Walmart.
No, I think stealing them.
I think you're right. You're right. I've seen it. Okay, so like where we're from, we have this thing called Shoppers Drug Mart, which is kind of like a drugstore or whatever. And you're right. There is like DVD things where it's like a pack of 3 movies, like Diva Movies pack, where it's like glitter, whatever. But the thing is, like, I haven't seen it in so long, and then like it's not on a streaming service that I know of. So yeah,
not even Prime, right? I don't think Prime.
Nothing. Well, Wise Girls on Tubi, so I thought they were gonna add it on Tubi. But it's not on there yet.
It's Glitter is still not streaming. We barely got the album, and that was a fight to even because the album wasn't streaming for
that too. I had to buy it on iTunes, and then it disappeared one day. Whatever the corporate morgue people, like she says, they took the money. They robbed me of $17, and then then Mariah put it on streaming. So I guess it's all good.
Thank God.
Corporate morgue. Oh, the corporate morgue. We love everybody.
We love everybody. Allegedly, we love everybody. But anyway, let's get into the movie. So, like, honestly, we have no structure for this. So I just want to talk about the movie from beginning to end. I made notes.
I'm in already.
Let's do it.
Okay, I'm gonna summarize it for everybody at home if you haven't seen it, but I hope you would see it by now because this is like our 3rd episode about it. So get on that. Yeah,
it's on YouTube. It's so easy to find. Just go.
Yeah, just search up Glitter full movie. Start in the 1970s. We start with Billy Frank, her mother singing in a club, and Minnie Billy, she's at the bar, and I just love when they put like a little shot glass of milk, and I'm like, she looks like she's having like a hard day. She's got some milk, some cookies. She's like singing, and she brings her up to sing with her, and we have Mariah's voice, which is like pitched up a couple octaves, and the audience is kind of like heckling the mother. So because she's drunk, she's letting Billy go in place of her. So what do we think about that in the beginning?
The tea that I've heard, this is of course a rumor. I don't know if this is true or not.
Oh,
that
really?
Is not
Okay.
Mariah singing. It's actually Marianne. That's what I heard. And this is a rumor that's been going around in the Lamley since the movie came out. So I'm just like, because it's not credited. The voice is not credited.
Right.
So I don't know who it is. But I'm like, it sounds like Mariah.
It sounds like Mariah to me.
Yeah.
It also could be Marianne because
it could.
Marianne could mimic Mariah very
That's
well.
true.
So I'm just kind of like, I would like to know the truth. So Mariah, call me and tell me what the truth is.
Or come on here. I mean,
Mariah, come on the podcast.
Please.
We need a Glitter Twitter space.
Oh my God, that's so interesting.
Yeah.
And also, like, Glitter is so funny to me because I've seen these people in other projects since Glitter, and the mom was the mom on the show half and half, and I was like, wasn't that Billy's mom in Glitter? And so, like, when I see people in other little projects, I'm like Padma Lakshmi, I was like, cooking lady,
yeah.
So, I just thought I just like that part. That was cute. The little girl I think her name was Isabel something. She was great. She played her role. She really did.
She did that. And she kind of looks like her, I have to say.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm not going to lie. When I first clicked on the movie, I'm like, did I click on the right one? What is going on here? Because I walked in and I was expecting Mariah to be on the front, like right there.
Yeah.
Like, am I watching the right movie? Wait a minute. So then I, of course, realized that it was the movie before. But yeah, I thought it was interesting. Like, I like the part, it's like with the child. I think she did good acting too. I mean, to be a child and
Yeah.
do the acting, I mean,
It's
I couldn't even
hard.
do that.
And one thing that we were talking about with Craig that I agree with though is that like he said that the movie should have started maybe right in 1983 at the club scene and then with like flashbacks to the past. I kind of like that concept too, but I also didn't mind like all of the flashback parts in the beginning because like I do like a chronological thing, but I'm just used to the Shonda Rhimes of it all, like going back and forth.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
So yeah, so then they go to the Billy and her mom. I think her mom is like something with an L. I forget. It was like
Lillian.
Thank you, Lillian. So Lillian and Billy, they go to her biological father, asking for money because she got fired, and he gives her some reluctantly. And then they're back at the house, and unfortunately, her mother lights a cigarette, or they kind of allude to it. They don't really show it, but she lights a cigarette. She falls asleep. The house catches on fire. Then child services comes into play, and she ends up at a children's center with Twister playing in the background. We got a cat whisper, and she meets her two friends, Louise and Roxana. And then eventually we go to present day in 1983, and we have Mariah as like a background dancer.
She was shimmying for her life. I was like, you better do it, girl. Just up there to say just.
Like, people still say Mariah can't dance. Like, she can do a dance when she wants
Dancing
to.
here,
Okay?
yes.
Absolutely. Like, the honey... Never mind. I tried to learn the honey choreography once. It's not something you can learn in 5 minutes, okay?
This is why I act like that. I ain't dropped one single and made this money back. I rock so swell, I gotta prevail. First rap superstar, now my name Coxell. You never wish me well, cause it started...
Oh, I know the honey choreo. Oh, that is so funny.
Like, yeah.
That was
With
cute.
that
I
dancer.
like the setup with the friends because it really, of course, hits home later in the movie that you know, really like she switched up on her people. You know, not to spoil anything. I mean, you all should have seen it by now.
They should
Exactly.
know it by now.
People should have seen it by now. But it's just, I just like the setup of it, and even the little versions of them look like the bigger versions of them.
Yeah.
That was good casting.
Yeah, and the cat, the later as well.
Whisper.
I thought it was perfect. Whisper.
And
That
the
scene,
cat
yeah.
she kept, I think his name was Willie. I want to say the cat's name is Willie, because that's the same cat
Willie?
that Jack attacked on the MTV Cribs. It's the same cat.
Okay, this is Willie, and this is Jack. And the event of this kitchen is usually the two of them playing.
Gotta leave.
Wow!
Really?
She kept the cat after Glitter. Yeah.
Oh, you're right.
she did.
You're right. I was going to ask, I'm like, do you know if it's her cat?
Yeah.
I completely forgot about that. I know her TRL. Glitter's your comfort movie. Her TRL episode's my comfort show. Like, I don't know, for some reason, like I love watching it, all the commentary and everything. But anyways, so she's backstage as Timothy Walker, aka Lucius from Empire. Like when I see his character, I just think Lucius Empire.
Literally.
He has his girlfriend Silk.
What if they should have done that? Like Lucius was with Mariah, with Billy.
Like when I first watched it, I'm like, is this Empire? Like run Mariah the check? Like she literally came up with Empire.
Literally. Oh my god.
True.
Wow. It would have fit perfectly. Lee Daniels, get on it.
Exactly. I mean, and they're friends too. Anyways, so his girlfriend Silk approaches the girls backstage, say they want to be, in a singing group to Billy's reluctance. And I always thought, like, in the scene, like the cheetah print, like they just kind of look like the cheetah girls. Like, I don't know about you, Alana, but like to me, like it doesn't really seem like 80s to me, aside from the music. Like to me, like the words and everything, it literally looks like 2001, like straight on.
Unless it's like a club theme. And one of my favorite lines in the whole movie is actually in this scene when the brother's like, Billy, come on, all we gotta do is stand in the background and go, ooh, 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 or whatever, and go and get paid. I was like, yo.
Yeah, or when they're walking on the street into a brat, it's like you don't want to sign, like you, the broke bitch.
Like, oh, that is so funny. And they're like just all over her. She's like, no, I can never. I can't do it. And they're like, bro, we trying to
need
money. Because she's not trying to compromise her artistic integrity. And that's why she reminds me of the Cheetah Girls, because Mariah is literally Galleria, like Raven Baxter. And like the other girls are like Aqua and Dorinda and Adrienne Bailon. Like we just needed like one more and they literally would have been the Cheetah Girls.
Not only did Mariah create Empire, apparently she also created Cheetah Girls. Run Mariah her check.
Exactly.
Another check.
Exactly.
Added to the repertoire.
I mean, they definitely owe her lots of checks. Anyways, so yeah, so the girl, so they agree, and now they're in the studio, and we get the infamous line: "Turn Silk down, turn Billy all the way up."
Turn Silk way down, bring Billy all the way up.
So yeah, so they're working on the thing, whatever. They're doing All My Life. And Silk is kind of, dissing them. And we see Dice, the DJ, and he is listening to the demo. He's like, this is Silk. Like, it doesn't really sound like her. And then we go backstage and we see a photographer is like, can we take pictures? And Silk is like, they're in the background. They don't matter. I'm like, meanwhile, I'm like, I don't watch what you say because like they literally did all the work.
But I loved it. It was so shady. Like, well, the part that follows, like her
with the
walking
bow,
out and be
when they
like,
put up the bow, I was like, oh.
yeah.
I'm like, she thought she did something.
She really thought she ate. She really thought she ate.
And then, Billy had to humble her by literally singing the song and exposing her.
That is my favorite scene. Has a like singular scene in the whole movie. I was like, yep, ate her up.
Perfect.
The funny thing about All My Life is I remember hearing it when I was a kid, and I was like, oh my gosh, I love this song. My mother was like over, she's like, please stop playing this song. But then one day she goes, oh my God, this kind of sounds like a Rick James song. Come to find out, it is a Rick James song. Rick James gave All My Life to Mariah for the movie. And it's like the only song in the movie that wasn't a cover, but wasn't written by Mariah. It was written by Rick James. I was just like, oh, wow. So my mother was like, oh, and she was like, this sounds like a Rick James song. It took her 18 years to admit that was her favorite song in the movie, and I would never.
Wow.
I'm like, oh,
better late than never.
But yeah, I just thought that was a very interesting, like fun, because we all know Mariah writes her own music. She sings her own music. So for that song to be handed to her by Rick James, she said,
yes.
I'm putting this in my movie. I thought that was very cool.
Yes, from legend to legend. Yeah, so then we have Dice chasing after her. And now we can talk about the hat. He's trying to convince her to come back and they need to work together or whatever.
You soup girls up to get what you want? I don't soup girls. I was like,
yeah.
Okay, sir. I should not know this movie as well as I do. I know this movie line for line. Like,
I love it.
She plays so coy the whole movie. I'd be like,
yeah.
Like,
she's trying to act like low key, but like just knowing like how extra Mariah is.
And I was like, you're lucky 7, right? I'm like, all right. This is why they said the acting was bad. What are you doing?
I mean, I wasn't gonna say that part. I was like, okay, I see where they're coming from, but we move on. We move on.
That hat was definitely a choice.
Yeah,
I don't believe it was Mariah's choice, but it was definitely a choice.
I don't know what was going on. So I searched it up and Ary searched it up too. It's so funny. And like I was searching up and then I'm like, what is this like phrase? I'm like, is it like Italian or something? And I saw that it's from Spain. It's a Spanish professional road bicycle racing. I'm reading this on my notes. Cycling team.
I don't know why she wore the hat. It was very weird. Like I'm like,
why?
what's going on here?
It's like a tracksuit situation.
Yeah.
But then like, okay, not only was the hat a choice, it was like the vest and shorts. The hat
I love the pigtails though.
And I think the pigtails is what made the playing coy even more like.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. But like she never like touched. I was expecting her to like start like playing with them or whatever.
You're like he's 7, right? Like girl.
Girl.
But yeah, no, I even at that part of the movie, and then there's another part that we'll get to that I'm just like, all right. Okay, Mariah. But yeah, so the hat was a choice, but the rest of the fashion in the movie, beautiful.
It was good. I like what I saw, except for that. Like, I don't know. It's just like she got away with it. Okay. But then like the more because it's like the 3rd or 4th time I watched this, I'm like, this time I was watching, I'm like, I'm just not feeling the hat.
I was saying the fashion, it went more like non-Mariah to a little bit of Mariah, if you know what I mean. Like it went toward her style, which is good. So
yes, that is true.
She grew as a star, yeah.
Absolutely. They go over to some sort of open mic situation. And I would say like one thing I really liked about Glitter the movie is like kind of how they had true like early 80s songs like The Message, and they were kind of alluding to how the underground clubs is like where rap was starting and hip hop was starting to blossom. And I thought that was cool. Like everybody's freestyling. Then we get to Mariah and she's singing Don't Stop Fucking for Jamaica. And she's doing the whistle note. And I saw that, I'm like, exactly.
Of course, like I said, at this point, I have a PhD in this movie. I've seen like behind the scenes recording of that scene, and there was no music when they were recording the scene, which is why everybody is like dancing kind of offbeat, but no one has like the
same. That makes sense because
there was no music. So like to see, just to know that there was no music when they recorded it, and then to go back and see it with the music on it and no one having any rhythm in the club, I was like, okay, that's very funny.
That makes so much sense.
Yeah, that makes sense. I guess because like the copyright, I don't know, or maybe it wasn't done. I don't know.
Then they added it in post. It was just very cute. I was just like, now I get it. Because of course, you know, it just takes away some of the magic of the movie when you like know the behind the scenes stuff, and I'm just like,
right. So then we go back to the empire of it all. And Dice is basically signing the girls. And he's kind of like, Timothy, like, okay, I'm signing them. And that's that. And Timothy's like, well, no, because I need my 100K. And Dice is like, no. And I'm like, okay. And we're surprised that there's repercussions.
And also, like, thinking about how much $100,000 is, like, was in 1983, like,
that's a lot.
It's like $500,000.
But he knew. And that's why at the, when we'll get to it, I was like, it kind of is right. Like, you know what I mean? Not shady, but like, it kind of serves. Like, also, all the things that he did, so it was adding up. Right. So I was like, well, yeah, but $500,000, I mean, you got to pay up.
Mm-hmm. Easy. This next part of the movie, I kind of see as like creating Billy the star. Like, it's her come up. It's like they're working on like, I didn't mean to turn you on, and she's performing in the club, and they're meeting with different like record people, and I thought that was really cool because I wonder like now it's a little bit different. It was kind of cool to see like how it was back then, because back when the labels had budget for A&R, who was actually going to the club and trying to like discover new talent. Like, I found that really interesting in my opinion.
That was my dream job growing up, was to be an A&R. I wanted to be an A&R so bad. And I was like, Mom, I told her, like, again, talking to my mom about it, because I was a kid. I was like, I want to be like Clive Davis. She said, you want to be an old white guy? I said, yes. But yeah, like, I wanted to be an A&R so badly. I always thought that was like the coolest job. But I also think this is a part of the movie where Mariah starts wearing the silver glitter stripe.
Yes.
With every outfit. To kind of like, she said there have been a meaning assigned to it. I don't remember what the meaning was, but yeah, it's just, that was the part of when she started to, build the branding of Billy Frank, which I thought was
Yeah, so I was searching that up because I remember seeing like rumors on Twitter. I can't speak today. I'm sorry, everybody. I was seeing rumors on Twitter. Everybody was saying like, oh, it's about like her fighting for freedom, whatever. And I did a quick Google search while I was watching it, and I found a Women's Wear Daily article in 2001 where Christopher Buckle was speaking about doing the makeup for glitter. And basically he said that it's a symbolic and ritualistic device that highlights Mariah's film persona. The slash is about fighting for individuality. It's an empowerment thing. Mariah's character only wears it when she's performing in the studio or on stage, but not in private moments. It's her war paint. It's what she wears when she has to be a star. And what I also found interesting was that he said that even though it's called glitter, we want to avoid glitter because apparently it was trendy at the time. And also that the corporate morgues didn't really, well, he kind of alluded to that. He didn't say it like out of the blue, but he said they didn't really let them go too far into the 80s makeup and hair for some reason, because they thought it would distract away from the plot.
But they let her wear their hat.
Exactly what I was going to say.
That is so true. Yeah. What the heck?
I don't know. The pigtails were giving 80s. I don't know about that.
Yeah, I don't know.
But the silver, I like the silver.
I like that. Like, you're going to war. Or it's like kind of like, like Beyonce said, the Sasha Fierce.
Yeah, it's like her alter ego.
Alter ego kind of moment. Yeah, that could work. That is true. I never saw. Yeah, because when I saw it, I'm like, what is that paint? I thought it was like the recording. Maybe they just messed up on her shoulder or something.
Yeah.
Like the tape got damaged or something when they put it up. I don't know, but.
Well, I thought it was from like the photo shoot scene. But then I saw it when she was in the studio that she had it. And I didn't notice it before until somebody pointed it out.
I think another time she wears it when she meets with the record execs, like from Columbia Records. And she's wearing it for White House. I think she has it on then too. So like, there are just certain points throughout the movie where she just has it on. She's always in public. When it's just her and Dice, she's like not wearing it. So actually, I didn't even realize that until you just. I'm like, oh, that makes perfect sense.
Yeah, as you said, Billy and Dice, they're kind of building their relationship together. They're going to some sort of like dinner thing, and this is another funny part where like Roxanne and Debrat, like they're just like shining here. Like Roxanne's like, just don't do anything I wouldn't do, and then Mariah says, well, that leaves nothing. Those moments like just make me like burst out laughing.
That is a common sign, like a common farewell that I say to people all the time. I'm like, okay, I love you. Don't do anything I wouldn't do. And people are like, where did you get that from? I got it. So for all of you watching, I got it from glitter.
There you go.
Like, don't do anything I would. They said, well, what wouldn't you do? I'm like, just nothing.
You just have to know.
Don't do anything I wouldn't do. But also that scene is so funny to me because I want to know how far you're going to get into this before I want to have this discussion, because there's another one. I'm just like, but why though?
Get into it.
Yeah, do it.
The allusion to the sex scene, I was like, now why? First and foremost, why did she have on granny panties? Second of all, like when they sit her down, it's the playing coy. She goes, it's a date, girl. You're at a fancy French restaurant. Your friend typed you up. You got on the dress. He picked you up in a limo with a single red rose. He put the napkin in your lap.
And brings you up to play the marimba of all things.
You eat escargot.
I was just like, what is this? It's some fish people eat. I love that.
That was
Yeah,
funny.
but it's true. Like, you kind of in a limo too. Like, you're going somewhere clearly special.
But I feel like that's like in
Yeah.
every movie where they're like, it's not a date, and they end up sleeping together. Like, I feel like I've seen that like so many times. So like I understand why they did it. But
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
it's just
true.
the coyness of it all.
It's for the 12-year-old girls.
But
The
yes,
movie.
it's a date. It's not a date.
It's a date.
That was like that whole little
KISSING.
that whole little back and forth was very cute. I was like, that's very
Yeah.
friend coded because I feel like my
Mhm.
friends would do the same thing. They're like, it's a date.
Because you're trying to like set your friend up for success. You're like, listen.
Like, just hey, listen, like you need to know what you're getting yourself into. This guy's gonna take you back to his. Okay, I want to know where in New York these apartments are that are just big loft areas with just open spaces.
It was Toronto.
Yeah, I'm like, where in New York are these apartments? Because I know people that live in New York and I don't know if they ever see, like, are these the rent control ones that people never move out of? Like, where are these apartments?
I don't know. But then again, that 80s money went a long way back then.
True.
Now, well.
Like, at one point in the movie, he has a whole band in there. And I'm like, how you get a whole band in there? Like, how you do that?
He did.
Oh
Wow.
my god, you're too funny. So then we move on to like Loverboy, and we hear they're in Dice and Billy, they're in full on relationship now, and they are hearing Loverboy in the cab. And for me, I love this movie. It feels like the most genuine because I can imagine like Mariah like hearing Vision of Love on the radio for the first time, and then you see like her friends on the phone like excited and they're turning the radio, whatever. And then I love the transition to the glitter falling, and now we're like in the Loverboy like music. Like to me, that's like perfect cinematic. Like they did that. Cinematographer, give them a raise. That's my favorite part.
And she's like looking up, like, the glitter. So I was like, oh,
Yeah.
love it.
Yes, and the creative director being like, ironically, like the glitter can't overpower the artist, and I feel like they put that like in there like on purpose because it's just like too ironic. There's
another really funny line in this particular scene with the music video director. Where he goes, "Is she black? Is she white? Who knows? She's exotic." And I was like, "Oh, I feel like somebody has said that to Mariah in real life, or a variation of that, and she put it in."
Yeah.
But I was like, one of my friends pointed that out to me. He's like, "Yeah, he said he calls her exotic for being biracial," and I thought that was so interesting, especially for the '80s.
And then we have like all the PR people coming in, and it's again, it's like I love like the scene how it's like it's giving into like what's going on behind the scenes. Like the creative director's arguing with the record person, and Mariah's not really comfortable. She's just getting Dice to like kind of go tell him like I'm not really cool with this, and then the PR people are like, "Hi, I'm like whatever," and yeah, and then they kind of just like leave, and they're like, "Well, I don't want to get a bad reputation."
Yeah, I think she said I don't want to get a reputation of being difficult or something like that, and I'm like, I feel like this is very coded to what Mariah.
I'm not a diva.
Wow. That is so true.
Because the corporate morgues.
Corporate morgues.
Not here for it. And then we move on to a little shopping moment with Roxanne and Louise. And then we're back in the studio again.
I was very
Another
confused.
hat
Why are
choice.
they
Why'd you
wearing?
have a cowboy
Yes.
Guys, I don't know. I know it's so like early 2000s, the gold ensembles. Like,
Yeah, the gold.
nothing
I'm like,
80s.
what is going on?
With like the little like beret cap thing. Like, that's such a 2000s thing.
Yeah.
But okay, all right. It's 80s, I guess. All right. We're back in the studio. We're looking at the photo shoot. Dice. See, this is where it all goes down for me because I just hate Dice's character. Because he's always hating on Billy. He's like, not here for the photos, not here for the award show, whatever, like in the limo.
That's probably what he was doing during that time. So now that I'm thinking, like, you know, she's probably making her true statement there. Wow.
Seeing Mariah cry after that award show in that pink dress it shattered me. Even as a kid, I was like, what? Like, how dare you make her nose all red and stuff? Like, I was very not pleased by that situation.
Honestly. It also reminded me of A Star is Born, kind of, where another thing she needs to check for, because they literally do the same bathroom scene where she's on the floor in the bathroom and Dice is apologizing, and literally the same thing, like Lady Gaga, she's in the bathtub, except the only thing is like in glitter they make up, but in The Star is Born it gets even worse. But again, like run her check. Where's the check?
Where's the check?
Billy's trying to find her mom at the same time, and we're going in and out of the studio. Loverboy's a success, but we need a crossover duet. So Eric Benet comes into the mix, and she meets him at the award show rehearsal. And what do you think about their song?
It took a while to grow on me. I thought it was very cute, but Eric Benet in the 80s, I don't see Eric Benet being very 80s. Eric Benet is at the very least 90s coded, but I think he played his role Well, like he did what he was supposed to do, but the song was cute, and I was just like, all right. It's not my favorite on the soundtrack, but I don't
Okay.
skip it. I'm just kind of like,
I like the beat because it's very 80s. I really do like 80s music. So this was like a perfect crossover. It's just,
Right.
I didn't like appreciate it until now, but I love 80s music. So yeah, so now we're at the award show, the actual award show. And I wish we got like a more of like a snippet of like the Loverboy, or no, oh my God, I'm mixing up all the songs. Didn't Mean to Turn You On performance or whatever. It's kind of just like showing the after, like they're all coming out to the after party or whatever, and Debrat and Roxanne are getting ready. That's funny too, where she's like coming out with a different outfit. She's like, it's too much, we need to go. Like, we need to go. Like literally every time.
Yeah.
The Brat is the best part of this movie. I don't know, the comic relief the Brat provides.
She's carrying, and her comedic timing too, like, it's so good.
It's so good.
And Dice is once again bringing down the vibe, you know, because he's working with Quincy Jones, allegedly. I feel like he was kind of lying there, embellishing a bit. And you can see Eric Benet be like, okay, that's great. Good luck with that. And even like the director too, he's like, well, yeah, we could do like the soundtrack. He's like, yeah, maybe next time. So Billy,
right? Oh man.
And I'm like, this
right, his little Dice ego.
Secondhand embarrassment. Oh God, it's just cringy. But like not the acting, it's just like for him, his character. It was like, ooh, I feel bad for you, but like not really. Yeah, so then Dice gets even more drunk, expresses his jealousy of Raphael, Eric Benet's character. And then he starts like hating on everybody.
Yeah.
Where the friends leave the limo and they're like, Billy, are you coming? And she's like, well.
That was.
I was like, girl code, Billy, what are you doing? Are you really gonna let your girls walk home after he insulted them for no reason? Be serious. Be serious, Billy.
I would have gone out first. And girls, let's go.
Right?
Yeah, I was a little disappointed
she
there.
Let me down.
And the body shaming.
Yeah.
But yeah,
well, he got his karma.
But the way he was insulting them, I was just like, what did they do?
Yeah.
What do they do?
Like literally, it's the ego of it all.
I was gonna say, men's ego can get bruised really easily, and then they lash out. Motorola. Anywho.
Ooh. Well, yeah.
Moving on.
Yeah, anyways, well, sort of, kind of. Yes, moving on. So now Mariah thinks she knows a woman on the street is her mother, but it's actually just someone else.
I was so excited. I was like, oh my God, it's the mom. And I'm like, oh shit.
It's not. But like, I don't know. It was random to me.
But it was the song. It was because she was singing the song that they were singing at the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
My childhood.
And then we jump into SNL or whatever. It's called like the Late Night Live or something. Some like fake name for it. I'm like, it's SNL. And I love how like Mariah was like requesting her honey lemon and tea like in real life. And she's getting ready or whatever, watching the skits. And we get the call that Dice is in jail for trying to beat up Lucius. I know I should be saying the character's name, but it's just in my head it's Lucius.
It is Lucius.
The character's name is Timothy Walker, but in my head it's Lucius.
That is so funny. Okay.
And yeah, so once again, messing up. Again, literally A Star is Born.
That is so true. The resemblance is there. Wow.
And the frustration. I'm like, come on, Billy's trying to promote Loverboy. Like we want a Loverboy performance snippet.
Yeah.
And they keep fighting. And I think at this point, they're fighting again, and she slaps him.
Yeah.
Because Dice says her mother would have been proud of her.
How dare he?
In an ironic way.
Your mother would have been proud.
So distasteful.
So disgusting. I was like, that was low.
He deserved that slap.
Yep.
I had to replay it a couple times. I'm like, Billy, you better get your lick back, okay?
She smacked the hell out of him. It was a good smack.
It really was. I don't know if it was real or not, but whoever edited that scene, they did that. Yeah, so then she leaves the apartment, goes back to her friends. They take her.
Wait, and Reflections. Love. What's the part?
Oh, yes.
Yeah, it was
that.
Isn't that when she's singing the piano with her?
Oh, you're right. I'm sorry. I completely skipped over that. I think it's like after
they're
like showering or something, and then she's talking. She found like a box of her mother stuff, and she's crying, and she starts writing reflections.
Yeah, and then
but they're also
the piano, and then he comes.
Yeah,
yeah, that was cute. I cried during that too. I was like, oh, like it touched a string in my heart.
And I thought it was cool how like they were both kind of working on Never Too Far. Like he was working on the melody, she was working on the lyrics, and then she like goes back to his plays and like leaves the lyrics or something. Or no, I
With
think
the kiss.
he leaves the melody. I forget which one.
Well, no,
But yeah.
she leaves the lyrics on his. Okay, I know this part so well because this is where I turn off the movie every time. I'm like, wow, what a great movie. I don't at this point because I already know how it's gonna end. I do the same thing with Selena. I'm like, you know what? This is
Oh
a
my
great
God,
movie.
yes, I can't.
Watch the end of it. So when Billy leaves the lyrics on the piano, I just know that part very well. And she like kisses it and puts it on there and signs it with like a B or something. And because they aren't speaking at that point, they're like broken up.
Yeah.
But yeah, I thought that was a very cute thing because they still, loved each other.
Yes.
Loved each other
For what it was.
For what it was.
Exactly. And when she goes into the award show, the concert, Madison Square.
Yes.
And then I think that's her saying when she said like, say everything you want to say to the people you love, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think it's that. And I think it was the lyrics, right? That song that she wished they would have sang it together or like talked about it or said what they wanted to say.
Yeah.
That was another crying moment.
It's never too far. It's gonna do it for me every time. I'm trying not to sing it. I almost just broke out. I was like, should I? I'm like, should I be like, oh, never
this is a controversial question, and I ask this question all the time on Twitter.
Okay.
Never too far or lead the way. Which one? You got to pick.
Ooh.
I have to do lead the way.
I was gonna do lead the way too.
I always do never too far. Every time I put this poll out, the answer is different. Every single time.
Really?
What usually do that?
It'll be like.
So what was the last
48%
time?
lead the way to like 52% never too far, and then the other time it'll be like 70% lead the way, like 30%. I was like, can we come to a consensus?
Because I love lead the way because like vocally, like she does like scale after scale, and then the little whistle at the end, like that does it for me.
Me too.
It's never too far. I'm a never too far girl. I'm sorry.
Okay. I love Never Too Far, like the melody of it all. Like obviously I love both, but like if I had to choose, lead the way is taking it for me. I'm sorry. But yeah, she's at Madison Square Garden and they're in the middle of the rehearsals and she's crying. She got the half up, half down ponytail and she's like, I can't deal with it. I can't hear myself. And then we get to the actual night of, and then I hate how she found out. Like they're watching the move.
Like,
come on.
And she walks in and she's like, oh, I hope Billy doesn't see it. Hey y'all.
Billy, I'm so sorry. Girl.
And she's like, what?
What's going on? Yeah. They could have done a different way. But also, like we said, he kind of had it coming.
Yes.
No shade.
As we know, his death, he like, what did he do? He like was walking away. Yeah. He had his back faced away from him. And then he just walks up to him.
And then also, like, how do you beat somebody up and expect no retaliation? Because you went to jail for beating this man up.
Yeah.
You thought he was just gonna let that slide? Like, come on.
But again, like in the beginning, I just thought the thing was stupid. Like I understood why he wanted money. Obviously, it's not morally right, but at the end of the day, it's a business, and he signed them first, so there's probably a contract involved. But I didn't really understand that because I thought they were both at the same label. But anyways, I'm like, we couldn't set up a payment plan or nothing. I mean, we couldn't tell Billy.
Well,
they
could have took her to court.
They weren't on the same label. I think it was like the recording studio was kind of like something like Hit Factory, but like a lot of artists from varying labels all come to like the same recording studio. It's like how that one time Biggie Smalls and Tupac ended up in the studio at the same time. The people got to a flight, like so, like it's just kind of like artists just all go to like the same or went, and now I think everybody's just in their house, but like
pretty
they
much.
all, like used to like just go to these different spots. I think they just kind of saw each other in passing, and he was like, "So my money." What about my money?
Yeah.
Like, I'll give you your money. And also, I don't understand though why he killed him because now you're definitely not getting your money because he's dead.
Exactly.
You're going to jail.
Because I thought it would have been cool, like if they went to court and then we could have Billy in the court, and then she finds out about the deal and she didn't know. Like they call her to like the witness on the stand, and she starts crying. Like, walk with me here.
That would have been for Glitter too.
Yeah, she found out, but like it was kind of like coy. That's to bring up coyness again. Like in the apartment over, like they were like I don't know, like sitting
like,
by the
kill you or whatever.
Yeah, the groceries or whatever. She was trying to just bring in the groceries, some Chinese food.
He just in the apartment like what?
Hey, how you get here? Yeah. Glitter 2. Do you think that could have happened?
I have pitched varying versions of Glitter 2 on Twitter for no reason.
Okay, I want to hear this.
I'm like Glitter 2. Again, walk with me. Walk
with
me. Glitter 2.
I'm ready.
It's about Mariah didn't know that Billy didn't know that she was pregnant at the time she was at Madison Square Garden. She had Dice's baby. Daughter is a singer. Daughter's growing up in the 90s late 90s, early 2000s, which
Oh.
film, and she's trying to come out of the shadow of her mother's fame from the 80s. And now Billie is a jaded singer, because she's not as popular
Right.
the way she was popular in the 80s. So she's took like a Lillian type path. So, the whole time Billie is warning her daughter about the way that fame will eat you up and spit you out and yada, yada, yada. And it's like her daughter's quest to kind of step out her mother's shadow and become famous in her own right. So I was like, I don't know, they need to hire me. Like, glitters are like, come on,
Yes.
you can put it on Tubi.
But they stole your idea for the movie Double Platinum with Diana Ross and Brandy, because that's literally the plot.
Are you serious?
I'm not even joking.
I've never even heard of this movie.
Okay, so I see people just use reaction pictures of it all the time, and I'm like, what is it? And they're like, it's a movie with Brandy and Diana Ross. And basically the movie it's like Diana Ross, she like leaves the father and the daughter to go become a famous star in the 80s, and now it's the 90s. And the daughter is a big fan of the mother, and she goes to the concert and she finds out that it's her mother. And then she's also breaking into the industry, so the mother's like kind of guiding her, and she's not listening to her. They took your idea.
I've never heard of this movie before.
Me either. What's it called?
I think it's called Double Platinum.
That's why. Oh, that is so funny.
But that's literally the plot. Except like the only difference is that like she didn't know that the singer was her mother. She like found out. So and they use like the songs from each of their albums at the time. So like Brandy's like hit debut single is Have You Ever, which was actually like a #1 from Never Say Never.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, I got was this like a straight to TV movie? Because
I don't remember. I think it was straight to TV. It was like, and it was 99.
Yeah,
The more you know.
Search it up. Look it up. But I love this theory about like her being pregnant with this child.
Imagine.
Because she would know by the time she was
right.
singing.
And then I can see like because she eventually reunites with her mother, so I could see like her like the mother kind of being like the voice of reason now, and them having a scene was like, oh, now you want to be the voice of reason after you whatever like abandon me, whatever.
A little banter with her mom while having issues with her daughter.
Mm-hmm. Mariah, so now we have a proposition for you.
I was going to say,
reach out to Alona Turner on Instagram, and then we can come in here, promote it.
I think we need to come up with a transcript.
Yeah.
Like, Mariah, just hit me up, girl.
Yes.
I wonder how she'll feel about it. Like, imagine someone came up to her and be like, you want to do this movie? She'll be like,
the thing is that like she
how much?
Barely acknowledged it until now. So I feel like she'll kind of just brush it off.
She'll be like, okay. Yeah.
She'll be like, yeah, maybe. Yeah, exactly. I'm always in the studio working on something.
Yeah.
I mean, hey,
where is it?
We're patient. We're patient. Okay, so the movie ends with Alona's favorite song, "Never Too Far."
Wait, are you going to the Christmas?
Oh yes.
War?
Yes, I am.
Okay. When is your
fourth
date?
Fourth row center.
Oh.
And that's the thing.
What date?
The first. I'm in
November,
Detroit,
okay.
and I'm also going in Chicago. It's my goddaughter's first concert.
Oh, that's good. That's a good one.
That's perfect.
Yeah, we're going for our Christmas birthday because my birthday is December 23rd. Her birthday is December 30th.
Oh, really?
So her
perfect.
Birthday and my ninth birthday, we're gonna go see Mariah together at the United States.
I love that. That's the perfect.
That's
honestly.
Yeah, but yeah, fourth row center because this is my second time seeing Mariah this year.
Wow.
The first time I was at LA Pride, and I tell you, I was at the barrier. I was
as you saw. Oh my gosh, Rainbow Interlude live.
Oh yeah, I as soon as it started, I started tweeting because that was Jake's interlude, Jake's like song. I'm like, yo,
right?
Mariah's doing Rainbow Interlude. But even before that, I was there for the sound check. I was just outside the venue. And Mariah doing the sound check, and I was like, "There's gonna be Rainbow Interlude." And he said, "Stop lying," and I'm like, "I just recorded it," and I put the video on Twitter. But yeah, and it was just I'm very excited. For
Alana's on the front lines. Literally, she's at the barrier. She's at the barrier for us all.
And also, like, I'm short too, and every I post these videos, they're like, "How was your video so clear?" And I'm like, because I was down there talking to the security guys, like Mariah's security. We were friends by the end of it. Because they kept coming by and trying to close my phone screen when I was recording. They just like were harassing me. It was a good time. But it was just fun. It was
really,
yeah. But long story short, yes, I'm going to the Christmas concert.
Yes,
I went last year. I have to keep it's my tradition at this point.
Us too.
We're trying to make it a Christmas tradition. Now we don't get that lamb money though. We're a little bit up a bit in the back. But I'm happy to be there. I'm excited
to be in the room. That's all I wanted. I don't care where I am. I just need to be in the room.
And I love the set list, especially last year, like with the hits medley. Like I when Fly Like a Bird came on, I was up. I think I scared everybody in my section. Like I was screaming. But yeah, back to glitter. So when we wrap up with Alona's favorite song, Never Too Far, because we're trying to do Loverboy. We're just like, you know what? No, we're going to do a ballad. And like Ary said, she's talking about not taking people for granted, whatever. And then we do a little drive up to Maryland. I think Dice found her mother's information before he died.
Yeah, Dice found her mom.
Yes, the only useful thing he did. And she drives up. I'm sorry, I'm a Dice hater. And she finds her mother and they reunite. And then we end with the credits with Lead the Way and Last Night a DJ Saved My Life playing. What did you think about the ending, Alona?
I don't know her.
Oh, you're right, because you turn it off after the thing. Right.
Turn it off.
But,
okay, but when you first saw it, what did you think as a kid?
I cried. I remember crying because I'm a sympathy crier. So when Mariah was up there crying, I was sitting in the movie theater crying, and I was just like, "Oh, we just out here crying together." But I did like that she took that trip upstate and found her mom, and her mom was doing well. That brought me peace because I would have been upset if her mom was that lady on the street randomly singing the song, but she knew that her mother had gotten clean, was living upstate, had a nice little house. I was like, that is such a good, deserved, ending for not ending because her life continued, but like that's a good deserved like story follow up for her mom. Like to know that her mom was doing well and wasn't just like out on the street. That was pleasing to me. That was a good thing, especially after Billy had gone through so much. Like imagine your boyfriend getting shot and then you find out that your mom is literally like in a asylum somewhere, like in an institution. Like what a terrible way to end a movie. So like knowing that her mom is like doing good, and that was great.
Exactly. Agreed. It's like a full circle moment. It's a perfect way to end it. I loved how they ended it.
I wrote the same thing. I'm like, full circle moment. It was perfect. Yeah, and also wrote, I'm like, imagine having to sing when someone died. I'm like, why is there no bereavement notice? Like, why do we have for singers?
The problem is everybody was there. They're like, Billy, love her, what? Now my question is, okay, so the way they framed that scene though is a little bit confusing because I'm thinking, okay, she's in grief, so she's deciding to do this ballad. Now, does that mean she did the rest of the show, or do you guys think like Billy just did like that one song and then was like, bye?
I think she did the rest of the show.
Yeah,
because she's a professional.
Exactly.
That's true.
And then she went to see her mom after.
Okay. Right. But imagine going from Never Too Far and then into Loverboy.
That's what I was gonna say.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Baby. Let me hear you make some noise, MSG.
I know.
Oh man.
And then I was even searching up like the car drive. I'm like, because when I watched the movie the first couple times, I'm thinking like, okay, wait, New York to Maryland, that must have been like a 3-day trip or something. But it's actually a 3-hour drive. So
it's only a couple hours.
I'm not good at geography. So I was Google mapping it. I'm like, okay.
But also, like, what time did the concert end? Because like the concert started at night. And by the time she gets to her mom's house, the day is breaking.
Yeah.
And I'm like,
that's what I was saying. I'm like, they made it seem like it was a whole day trip, but maybe she left like in the morning or something.
Yeah, I was thinking like maybe 4 or 5. Then she like 3 hours. I'll be like 6, 7. That makes sense. But the concert ended probably at 11. No more than that.
That's what I'm saying.
So I don't know what happened in between.
She had a nap. When she went to the Wendy's drive-thru, can I get a small chili with some fries? And just like sat in the car.
Hey guys, we're stopping our very own podcast for our very own fake ad until we get sponsorships.
We love manifesting. Make sure to follow us on whatever social media you're on at PenPop Podcast to get notified for new episodes, because why would you miss them?
Or just talk to us in general on our personal accounts at DanteDidomenico_ and at Ary Dominguez Official.
And if you like what you're hearing so far, don't forget to leave us a rating or review from wherever you're listening to this podcast.
And now, back to PenPop.
PenPop.
So now that we've analyzed the movie, we have to get into the rollout of the movie, the music, video, the movie, and more.
We won't harp again on how the movie was promoted, but to sum it up for everybody, because I think you have a PhD, I have a master's, you're in the Lamb undergraduate.
I'm in the bachelor's degree. Yes, I'm in the bachelor's program.
But to sum it up, there were several delays for the premiere days, TV appearances, tons of interviews when Mariah was running on 3 hours of sleep, voice messages on her website expressing frustration, press appearances, the media on Mariah's neck for no reason for her erratic behavior, which we all know wasn't. There was a lot going on.
The film debuted at number 11 on the box office, and with a $22 billion budget, grossed $5.2 million worldwide. So looking back, the film opened on September 22nd and closed October 18th. So that is a good one for like a month, I think. Like a monthy-ish.
Like I didn't know they only ran it for like 1 month. Because didn't like usually movies back then like run for like several months?
If people were going to see them, but nobody was going to see. Like I said, when I saw the movie, the theater
was empty.
Right.
So they just decided to end the theater. So then, did they have it available like somewhere else, or not yet? Oh,
It took a few years before I started. I want to say maybe like, because of course you can buy it on DVD.
right.
When the DVD came out later on in 2000, sorry, in like 2002, early 2002, you
Okay.
could get it on DVD. But then it went like straight to like the bargain bin section, and that's where it stayed for
Oh,
like 20
Wow.
years.
damn.
Damn's right. Mariah did not acknowledge the film or performance of songs until 2018 resurgence and detailing her experience in 2020 through the memoir The Meaning of Mariah Carey. Mother also still won awards at Golden Raspberry Awards and Stinker's Bad Movie Awards for Worst Actress. I mean, Glitter was eventually released on VHS and DVD on January 15 in 2002. Wow.
Still sweeping awards. I mean,
Yeah. It's still taking something.
This is what I remember the most about that era, because Loverboy was the number one song
Mhm.
of Selling Song of 2001. What they don't tell you, because this is when iTunes first came out. This is when the beginning of iTunes. So even back then, I think iTunes singles were like $1, and Mariah reduced the price. She was one of the first artists to reduce the price of a single to up the sales, and it was like half off. And so everybody would buy it because it was like one of the cheapest singles on iTunes, which of course ran it up in the charts. But it deserved to be there.
Absolutely,
anyway,
for sure.
Loverboy, be serious. And then of course knowing the lore behind, I've always known the lore behind Loverboy because I lived it. It happened for me in real time.
Absolutely.
So I was just like, that whole thing. This whole incident, I remember watching it so clearly on TRL. Carson was trying to make Mariah seem like she was going nuts. I was watching, I was on MariahCarey.com. I was hearing the voicemails. We were on dial-up. There was no such thing as Wi-Fi. None of that. We were on dial-up listening to Mariah's voicemails on MariahCarey.com. But watching the TRL incident, and I literally remember so clearly the next day, MTV News, and Sway got on MTV News and said, singer Mariah Carey has reportedly been put into a mental institution. It was like the next day or like the day after. And I was like, she was just on TRL. Yeah, I was literally like 12. I was so confused. I was like, no, wait.
Yeah.
Really?
She's not crazy. And I heard, of course, they start talking about, she tried to kill herself and she slit her wrist with a broken glass. And I was like, that don't sound right.
Right.
And even as a kid, I was like, this is not the Mariah I know. I didn't know Mariah, but this wasn't the Mariah I knew.
Right.
And I was like, this doesn't sound correct. But to hear her talk about it and how it was staged, the TRL thing was staged, because the way she explained it made perfect sense. Because I was like, of course, you have to go through all the security, you have to do all of this stuff. Who's just gonna let Mariah Carey up there with a popsicle cart?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow, that makes perfect sense. But that whole era was just so wild because I talk about this all the time. When prior to Glitter era, when I tell you Mariah Carey was everywhere, this is also pre-social media. She was all over magazine covers, all over the radio, all over the TV. The Diva Fit happened. Nothing, no more magazine covers, no more Mariah Carey on the radio.
Really?
All of a sudden, Mariah Carey was crazy. Like literally, it's like the public did a complete 180 on her in like the worst way possible. She went from being the darling of the entertainment industry to being worse than nothing. So I understood why Mariah didn't want to relive that era, because that was probably traumatic. Like the whole world
absolutely
was flipped on you in a heartbeat because you had a moment of weakness because you're not a robot. And I was just like, I get it, girl.
Absolutely. And so, like, what were your friends and family saying about this at the time? Like, were they paying attention to it a lot?
She was crazy.
Oh.
Well, they were mostly because of course I was 12. I was talking to my mom. My mom was like, well, okay. This is one of my mom's favorite stories to tell. But around the time that Mariah did the record label switch, I was reading it in a magazine and I was crying. And I was like, and I can't believe they were so mean to Mariah. And then her dad died, because I had lost my dad. That's how I even got to Mariah in the first place.
Right.
I was like, and then they were just so mean to Mariah. And my mother was like, Alona, she's rich. She can sing and she light skinned. Suck it up. You don't got to cry for this lady. And I was like, but I do want to cry for this lady.
Right. That's mother. Aside for your mother.
Right. I was just like, I just felt for her.
Of course.
I mean, I didn't fully understand the plight until later, but literally everybody around me, my mother was always like a Mariah anti kind of, because I always have a habit of doing too much. So she was like, you doing a lot.
She was keeping you in check.
She was keeping me in check. I also have a brother who was like, he's like, why does she always plug her ear when she sings? I don't want to hear that either. Very funny guy. He's a funny kid, but like everyone around me, my friends weren't really talking about it. Except for I had like one friend, I would never forget, her name was Jennifer. And if you ever see this Jennifer, hey, we were like friends since like kindergarten. And she was like, you know, that Mariah movie, I really liked it. And like she would say this to me like in private, and like it was a secret. She was like, you know, that Mariah movie, I really liked it too. And I was like, you were real with Jennifer.
She's a day one.
She was like, you were real your day one. She was like, I really liked it too. You don't have to feel bad about liking it, because I was like in the 7th grade, and I was like, thank you. So everybody like around me was like, they flipped on Mariah too.
Right.
I was always standing 10 toes for my girl. I was standing 10 toes the whole time.
Okay, my next question is, so like when you were at the store and like the Loverboy cassettes were like discounted, or the CDs or whatever, like what was that situation like? Was everybody like trying to grab one, or everyone was like, I'll just buy it because the price? Like what was that like?
I actually didn't buy the single because, like I said, this is when iTunes first came out.
Right.
The whole big craze was buying it digitally or downloading it illegally through like Napster or LimeWire
right,
or whatever. So, but I don't think I know anybody who bought Loverboy, a physical copy of Loverboy. Everyone that I knew bought it digitally because that was a new fad at the time, was buying it on iTunes, because iTunes was the cool hot thing
right.
at the time. Was pay for music after not paying for music with Napster.
I mean, it's a lot more convenient.
It was very convenient. It was nice. And it was fun for me too, because I was a kid. And I was like, Mom, can I use your card? She's like, for what? I was like, I want to buy a song on the internet. And she was like, the internet? You can buy music on the internet? I was like, yeah, it's called iTunes. Like, I had to explain to my mom what iTunes was. She was like, for real? And I was like, yeah, you can buy songs on the internet. And I showed her how to do it, and I bought it myself with her credit card, of course, because I was 12.
I love that. And what did you think about the music when it came out, like the album?
I liked Loverboy a lot. The funny thing about Loverboy too is, looking back on the lyrics as an adult, I cannot believe my mother let me sing that song with my whole chest as a preteen, because them lyrics are dirty. And my mother was just like, you know what? I'm gonna pick my battle. And it's not a battle I choose to fight. I'm not gonna tell this girl she can't sing this nasty ass Mariah Carey song. This nasty Mariah Carey song out loud. Yeah, it was very cute. It was I like the songs. I was also into 80s-ish music, because, you know, that was the era my family was really into. Like my mom came up during the era. My uncles, I have a cousin who was born in like the early 80s, so he was like everyone was like reliving the fantasy.
Right.
The thing that I thought was very interesting is like all of the music videos that ended up being quote unquote lost media from that era. Like, when I tell people, I'm like, yo, I like to give little lamb epiphanies, because these are things that I remember and people can't find them on the internet. And I'm like, last night a DJ Saved My Life has 2 music videos. And people are like, that song has a video? I'm like, yes, it's like a full-blown camcorder video in standard definition 240p.
So it was always like that? It's not just the quality from before?
It was, well, no, I feel like they really did that with a camcorder. Like,
right.
It's just so.
But I'm saying it was meant to be filmed through a camcorder. It's not just like because someone uploaded it from like 20 years ago.
Exactly.
Okay.
With a camcorder and a flashlight, or the Funkin' for Jamaica video with Mystical. I'm like, there's 3 Mariahs. They didn't even know that it existed. They only knew like Loverboy,
right?
Or of course in the ballads, of course in the movie. But yeah, I thought the music was cute. And then hearing the story about If We leading to the I'm Real remix. I was like,
we love everybody.
We love everybody.
We do.
Shanti sang that song very well.
So anyways, what was your favorite music video?
My favorite video from the era was probably Funkin' for Jamaica. I really liked that video. I thought the idea of Mariah being in Louisiana was cute. The 3 Mariahs singing in the
harmonizing, yes.
Thing. I thought that was cute. And then them being shocked at the other one singing. I was like, okay, acting. Give her Oscar. But
exactly.
I think that's my favorite video.
I love that. When the Justice for Glitter era happened, what were your thoughts on that? Like, were you happy? Was it exciting? For example, like the Genie's interview where she was actually like acknowledging it. Do you think it deserves further justice?
Okay. When I first heard of the Justice for Glitter movement, I was like, y'all late. I've been here. I've lived in this house for the last 20 years. Y'all just got here. Y'all new to this house. But I think the nicest part about that was it got so big that it made Mariah acknowledge it, because we do little justice for movements even prior to Justice for Glitter, and Mariah would just be like, yeah. So Justice for Glitter got so big because I think Mariah finally felt like she was getting the respect that she deserved, because she, even if it wasn't the greatest movie of all time, she definitely didn't deserve all the hate.
Absolutely.
that she got for it. She was already having a hard time. It was like just pouring salt in the wound. So I really like the Justice for Glitter movement. I think the movie needs to be released on streaming. I would love to see a vinyl reissue because I think that is the only Mariah Carey vinyl that's not available. Like as far as an album is concerned, you have to buy it from like Japan or get it like mailed in, and it's always the DJ copy. There's no official artwork, no sleeve, anything like that. So I think that would be nice to have a full glitter re-release, maybe for Glitter 25. That would be nice. But
hopefully, crossing our fingers.
I just remember being eternally 12. Mariah's like, oh, I'm eternally 12. I'm eternally 12. My eternally 12 is the glitter era.
Yeah,
I'm always kind of there because I mean, when I tell people, I don't want to talk about, we don't want to talk about 9/11, but that's my eternally 12. Like that was my eternally 12 era. So I'm just kind of like, I'm always kind of in that mindset in my head. I just remember so much of that time because it was like coming into awareness. And I just really enjoyed the era. And then Mariah had the movie come out, and then it was just a lot happened very, very close together.
Yes, and she made it through. We love positivity. And we got Charm Bracelet after.
It's my girl. Love Charm Bracelet.
That's mine too.
Justice for There Goes My Heart. That's the justice movement that I've been on.
Yeah, you have been running that. I'm waiting for it to be on streaming.
I cannot. If it's on the rarities too, I need a full blown thank you from every land because I've been talking about this song nonstop for like 3 years straight, and I've seen it start to like gain traction within the Lambly without people knowing the origin. It was me. I was like, there goes my heart.
That's right. Alana's setting it right here on PenPop. The PenPop exclusive. It was Alana who did the There Goes My Heart Justice campaign. It's on the schedule after Justice for Prisoner because that's what I started, okay? And then she acknowledged it again in a negative way, and then everybody was trying to take credit now. And then Alana was one of the only people that stitched or duetted my Prisoner rap challenge. She was literally in the hospital. That's how dedicated she is. And I'm glad you're better now. I hope it wasn't nothing too serious. But when I saw that, I was like, and that's why Lambly, those are my people. Those are my people.
I actually think we became mutuals on TikTok first.
Yes.
And then we ended up seeing each other on Twitter. I was like, oh yeah, it's my TikTok mutual. Oh, and then of course after this we get the emancipation of Mimi. That's when
of course.
Really I never really thought Mariah was that crazy to begin with. Okay, girl.
You probably felt like everybody switched up.
Everybody switched when they came back around like, oh, I love this new Mariah Carey album. And I'm like, yeah. Yeah. 10 toes for my girl the whole time. 10 toes.
Again, Alana was on the front lines. She was defending her. She was out at the movie theater.
Oh man!
All right, your services paid off.
So far,
again, I'm a veteran in this war at this point.
So it's time for the sign off. What are your final thoughts on glitter?
My final thoughts on glitter, is something that Dante said earlier. Like it's fun, it's camp, it's a movie for 12-year-old girls or just 12-year-old days, 12-year-old whoever. So if you're eternally 12, you feel eternally 12 in your heart. Enjoy glitter for what it is. Don't try to assign no extra meaning to it. Don't read into it. It's just a movie. Enjoy it for what it is. Get your laughs, get your cries. It's just it did what it needed to do, and I'm really glad that it got the moment and spotlight that it needed.
I like that you said that. Like, I think people just need to go into it as a movie. It shouldn't be a Mariah project. You know what I mean? Although she's in it, you know what I mean? But it just felt like something that a movie. It's a movie not even about her. It might be related to some of the things she might be going through. If you go at it with an open mind and you just look at the movie itself, why not? Why not, like you said, laugh, cry, enjoy? Like, it really touched all the points to be a movie. But I think it was I can't speak for the time, but for the moment, like, people just see it as a Mariah movie that she was going to express herself as the artist. Is not really that. It's just a movie. Simple as that. So there should not be any criticism that is bad or acting or whatever. But shut up. Who cares? It's Mariah. She still did it. She still outdid some of the y'all's fame. Anywho, so
never mind. The royalties from the discount bin at Walmart is probably more than our faves in streaming shows are probably making right now. So
exactly. So
she did that.
And when you said the discount, that's so smart. Get the stream, the numbers, not the numbers, the sales, and you get a number. And like,
it's
nobody
a cult classic
now. Mariah does, and that's the mastermind that Mariah has, and nobody else can do. Anyway,
well
those
said.
are the final thoughts on glitter.
Well said. Well, basically, I say the same thing every time. I say, like, I'm happy she got through the mess. I still love it. Everybody can F off if they don't like it. And it's been intriguing. It's been so like fun to like listen to different land perspectives. So I'm just glad we have this little mini series going. Okay, so before we wrap up, make sure to check out Alona's content and follow her on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram at Alona Online.
Yeah,
Thank you so much for coming for our podcast.
Thanks for coming on PenPop.
Yes.
Thank you for having me. This was fun.
Thanks for listening, guys. And
we'll see you next time on PenPop.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
PenPop is produced and edited by Ary Dominguez and Dante Domenico. Hosted by Ary Dominguez and Dante Domenico. Graphics created by Ary Dominguez and Dante Domenico. Themes music created by Ary Dominguez. Thank you to the listeners who support us. If you'd like to show your support or learn more information, visit the show notes in your podcast app.
Copyright disclaimer under Section 107 of the Copyright Act 1976, allowance is made for fair use for purposes such as criticism, comment, news reporting, teaching, scholarship, and research. Fair use is a use permitted by a copyright statute that might otherwise be infringing. Bye!